Well. You're listening to Gloves Off with Professor Buitrón. Alright then, I may say words on point, straightforward. No jibber jabber, everybody forward. Issues, facts and solution. Get it at Gloves Off with Professor Buitrón. Alright, what other thing is a revolution? Get it on point with Professor Buitrón. Gloves Off, no nonsense issues, politics, community. A better men for Laredo. Gloves Off, a revolutionary show with everything that you need to know. With Professor Buitrón. Watch ya!
The following political paid advertisements do not reflect the political opinions of the program or its associates. Any political campaign or candidate who wishes to purchase advertising can do so. Advertising is open to all on behalf of Gloves Off.
We're back at you, Gloves Off. I'm Professor Buitrón, and today we have candidate Priscilla Pantoja, who's running for City Council. How are we doing today, Priscilla?
Good. I'm excited.
You're excited?
Yes.
Well, let's start it off. Let's start the ball rolling.
Okay.
Why would you want to run?
The $1 million question. I'm glad you asked that. There's actually a lot of things that led to making this monumental decision, but ultimately, the potential to be able to significantly impact the lives of the people in this community that saw me grow up, and the community that I'm choosing to raise my children in just fuels me to keep going and to be able to serve my community in that capacity.
Absolutely. I was going to ask you, 2020 has been a year that's been like a very thunderstorm. We've gone from one thing and now we're in the middle of the pandemic, and it's continually, you don't know which way. Some people claim that it's like the game Jumanji was
yes.
Right? But on that note, what do you see and how do you see our city taking care of the businesses, the small businesses and people in general with this pandemic?
One of the things that I believe is really important, and I think could have helped more small businesses, is having firm lines of communication. For instance, at that point, you really don't, this is something new, it's unprecedented, and you're rolling with the punches, but it means a lot to people in general when your local government reaches out to you. So in this case, I would have gone a list of all local small businesses. And first of all, you're already reaching out to them, so they feel that support. Create a network where they would be able to give you some feedback on the way their businesses are being affected. And then from there, provide them with the information as you receive it. There was loans that were being provided by the federal government. They could have received some guidance from city staff. I know that, there's staff that has a lot of more expertise and just understanding how these loans work. I actually have a really good friend of mine who had applied for this loan, had, received it. In fact, she had it in her bank account already. And it wasn't until she actually read the fine print, which I know that a lot of people being in this situation perhaps didn't have the time or the mind to actually go through this. And so she there was a point where she got to where it says your business is going to be held as collateral. And it's like, what do you do at that point? They're giving you $80,000 to help your business, but at the same time, it could mean that a year from now, should you not fall within the guidelines, maybe breach something that you perhaps had no idea, you're going to lose what you've worked all your life for.
Absolutely. And that's something that became very prevalent here. And I talked to many small business owners, and we contacted certain city officials, city councilmen, and I would say there were two that were very concerned, and both was Vidal and Councilman Mercurio. Mercurio and Vidal were the only ones that were basically in the beginning, understanding that there was a need. People contacted our the one in our area, and we never got a call back. We called the city, nobody knew anything about it. So I kept on interviewing many small businesses and talking with small businesses and forming that coalition. What do we have to do? And many of them were afraid. This is something that's a dream. You work your life forward to, and you say, you know what? I've studied so much. I'm gonna open up this business. This is going to be my livelihood, and all of a sudden you're forced to close. And then if you try to open, when we started opening up again, you were called unsafe because you were opening to, under all the guidelines and everything. So small businesses have taken a huge toll.
Absolutely.
Now, with that being said, how do you feel about the upcoming decisions that they're trying to make, shutting them down?
They're elected to make decisions the best decisions for the constituents that put them in that seat. I wish that they would remember that. But it is very important for the constituents of every district to reach out to them. That puts pressure on them and the decisions that they make. That is the only, if there is anything that has come out from this pandemic, is that I believe our community is realizing the importance of taking part in the process. A lot of people complain about the process, and but in order to change any process, you have to learn it.
Absolutely.
You have to learn it. You have to, in order to know how you can beat it.
Absolutely. And and I see a lot more. The lessons that we've learned is many people, it's a huge spectrum. But the most lesson that I've learned is to take care of those that are around you.
Absolutely.
Especially in our community. In our community, yes, it's Laredo, but it actually starts growing smaller within our neighborhood, right? Because those are the people that are basically around you all the time. So you have to start standing up and start voicing out what is needed in that area, and then we can start thinking abroad. Here's another one. Here's one that I'm going to ask. In your area, it's the Mines Road area, right?
Yes.
There's always been a lot of talking about traffic. What are your ideas about that?
Traffic, there's a lot that comes with it, but what I can, any elected official in that area that promises you that it's going to be something that's going to fix overnight, they're lying to you. This is going to take years, but I can tell you that there is a master plan in the works, and it's just about making sure and following up and making sure that this plan is acted on. And for that, you need to have a good relationship with the partnering agencies. I mean, it takes millions of dollars it's going to take millions of dollars to be able to build these extensions these connections from FM 1472 to IH 35, and not only that, getting the right of way of landowners, and then actually building these roads. So it's going to take a couple of years to see the first road that's going to provide some type of that will be able to alleviate some of the traffic. But it's important that whoever does get elected next follows through and really just nags whoever they need to nag to make things happen. And that's something that I can tell you that I'm pretty good at it. I'm someone that anything I put my mind to, I don't stop until I make it happen. And so definitely traffic is going to need to be addressed. I don't know if you know this fact, but it just, when I got these numbers, it threw me back a bit. And, you really put into perspective what our district, is enduring. You're talking about 60,000 trucks or vehicular traffic on 1472. 36,000 of those are these trailer trucks.
Correct.
Which we want, which we need, right, in order to continue our trade. But with that said, we need to invest in our district. I mean, District 7 is if not the number one of the highest revenue generating district in Laredo. It's our bread and butter. And so it's important that we invest funding in order to maintain that. I mean, there's potential, or it's in the plans to double the amount of lanes on the World Trade Bridge. So get the traffic and multiply it by 2. That's what we're seeing in the next couple of years. And if we're not able to provide the infrastructure to be able to maintain that,
Absolutely.
we are going to lose trade to another border city, and that can't happen, And so it's going to take somebody that is, just going to have the energy, and that is going to nag until they make it happen. And not only that, somebody that can be able to establish these strong relationships with partnering agencies to make this happen.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Here's another one. Early votes, basically, 60 days away?
Yes.
Now, the election's 90, so they extended it for three more weeks. If somebody wants to call you and ask you questions or wants to get in touch with you to help out in your campaign, how can they do that?
We will be launching actually in the next few weeks. You're going to love it. We are jumping into this digital reality. And so it's going to be something really cool, really easy to contact me. All it's going to take is a scanning of a QR code. But they can definitely reach me at 956-441-7444 if they're interested in joining us. If there's anything that I've learned in my experience working with other campaigns, is that it's about the ride. It's about the process. So that's something that I want to make sure that the people around me that volunteer and making this happen have a good time, and more than anything, learn. And they're going to love it. They're going to love it because it's something that I've learned to be very passionate about, and that's going out and talking to the people. A lot of our constituents, they don't have time to go out and explore what resources are available to them. So it's important, and it's our job as a local government to reach out to our constituents and let them know what's available to them.
Absolutely.
I mean, this goes back to a very challenging experience in my life. 2009, 2010, a lot of our National Guard families went from having our soldiers go to weekend trainings to becoming full-time military.
Sure.
And there's something at that time, I was expecting my second daughter, and I said, oh wow, I have no idea what you're supposed to do during these times. A deployment, what is that? But immediately I took it upon myself to go and learn. And so I became the family readiness group leader. And so I went to trainings in Austin. And it was so exciting to find out that there's so many resources available to military families during deployment. So one of the things I did was bring it back to all our local families that were too busy trying to survive this deployment, and providing them with that information, because that's all it takes. And I see it the same way here. We always need to have that first responder attitude, and okay, let's go. You know, we're going through a difficult time. Okay, so what are we going to do next? But the most important thing, and that is pivotal in anything, is having that strong communication. And again, if you have access to all these resources and all this knowledge, it is your job to share that with the people that are being affected by any type of situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, number one, you seem energetic to going forward.
I am.
And may God bless you and bless your all's campaign, because it's going to be hard. You know, here now it's going to be a total different entity with this, with the COVID-19. You know, as it changes names.
It's a challenge.
Now they're
I've never been one to shy away from a challenge.
Now they're calling it the election infection. So now I'm like,
Possibly.
So I'm like, okay, how are we going to deal with it? You know,
We're
so
gonna get through it.
Yeah, so everything's going to go, I guess, social media wise, right?
We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen, and you know, that's the attitude that I bring, and that my whole campaign is going to bring. And I hope that, you know, we're able to earn the vote from our constituents. But again, you know, this is not something that I've been working on just a few months ago. I've done this for years. I've established those relationships with my constituents, you know, for years now. I have over 30 years living in the district. And like I said, I have close to 10 years working with Webb County, which has allowed me to go out there and, like I said, establish these relationships with the people in the district. And I think that's going to help us a lot. But it's exciting, and it's no secret that there's a lot of candidates in that district, but that's even more exciting, because you know what? It's about time we have people step up to the plate and you know, want to take part in the process again, like I said, you know. And so I wish all the other candidates the best of luck.
Absolutely.
But I do invite the voters to just give me an opportunity to talk to you and to earn your vote.
Absolutely. You know, and I tell this to everybody. I want to thank you for standing up and putting your name on the dotted line, because it takes will. Not everybody does it. Everybody can sit back and say, "Oh, I can do this, I can do that," but there are very few that are going to write their name on that line and
Absolutely.
go through there. And yes, there's a lot of the candidates in there, and everybody, I wish you all the best. But you know, people should research,
Yes.
and understand, and get to talk to each one.
Yes.
And I think that's what's important, and that's what you're allowing.
Absolutely.
And,
Make an educated vote. But vote, period. Vote. Vote. Get out there. Participate.
Absolutely. It's a very important election. And I want to thank you once more for coming over, and come back anytime.
Yes.
And let us know how the campaign is going.
Okay.
And
Great.
I
Thank
think
you.
it'll be great.
Thank you for the invitation.
No, anytime. Folks, until next time, peace.
Oh, that was fun.
The following political paid advertisements do not reflect the political opinions of the program or its associates. Any political campaign or candidate who wishes to purchase advertising can do so. Advertising is open to all on behalf of Gloves Off.